Jedi Knight. Sasha Vendark rode the scout droid in silence as it lifted away from Rannon, its hull vibrating beneath her boots. The machine followed a routine refueling trajectory, unremarkable and unguarded, exactly as intelligence had predicted. When the docking clamps engaged, Sasha slipped inside through a maintenance hatch, igniting her blade only long enough to disable the first patrol unit before it could transmit an alert. The interior of the vessel told a grim story. Blaster scoring marked the walls, and the air carried the sharp scent of overheated circuitry. Following faint signs of life, Sasha forced her way into a sealed compartment where a cluster of Republic survivors had taken refuge. Weapons snapped up at her arrival before recognition set in.
A Jedi?
One of the soldiers breathed, disbelief cutting through his exhaustion.
Not here to make speeches,
Sasha replied, already scanning the corridor beyond the door.
If you want off this ship, we move now.
There was no time to mourn the fallen or tend properly to the wounded. The group advanced through narrow passageways, meeting resistance at every junction. Droids poured in from ceiling hatches and side corridors, and each exchange cost them more than the last. Orders became shorter, voices tighter, as the reality of their odds settled in.
We don't have the numbers to reach the hangar,
the captain said grimly during a brief lull.
Then we don't go to the hangar.
Sasha answered, eyes fixed forward.
We take the bridge.
The final push was brutal. Explosives tore through reinforced doors, and blaster fire filled the command deck in a storm of light and smoke. When the last defender fell, the bridge fell silent except for sparking consoles and labored breathing. The captain wasted no time, pulling himself to the main terminal and overriding the system.
I can lock on to the rest of the fleet,
he said, fingers moving quickly. Outside the viewport, the droid Blockade hung in disciplined formation above Rannon, unaware that one of their own had just turned against them. Sasha watched the targeting systems come online, sensing the shift in momentum even before the first coordinates were entered. Whatever happened next would ripple far beyond this ship, and there would be no easy way back once the first shot was fired. The retreat from the bridge was slow and costly. Each corridor became a narrowing funnel of fire as droid units advanced without hesitation. One by one, the remaining soldiers fell, some buying precious seconds, others simply disappearing in flashes of light. The captain lingered at the console just long enough to make one final adjustment, his expression set with a resolve that needed no explanation.
Course is locked,
he said quietly as he stepped away.
If we're lucky, they won't notice until it's too late.
Sasha nodded, already turning toward the exit. They had taken only a few steps from the bridge when the silence broke. A blaster shot cracked through the air, striking the captain squarely in the back. He collapsed without a word. Sasha spun, reaching for him through the force, but whatever chance there had been vanished almost instantly. She knelt beside him for a heartbeat longer than she could afford.
I'm sorry,
she whispered, though she wasn't sure who the words were for. There was no time to carry the dead. The ship seemed to shudder around her as automated systems reacted to the chaos spreading through the blockade. Sasha ran for the hangar, hope pushing her forward despite the rising sense of dread. When she arrived, that hope burned out. Her ship lay in ruins, torn apart by automated defense turrets that tracked and fired without mercy. Footsteps, too many, too precise, echoed from every direction. The droid army was closing in, methodical and relentless. With no allies left and no ship to fly, Sasha's gaze fell on the line of escape pods along the far wall. It was a desperate option, but it was the only one left. What happened next was lost to the storm of battle that erupted above Rannon. As the collision course took effect, the blockade fractured, igniting a massive space engagement that drew the droid fleet's attention away from the doomed vessel. Amid that chaos, the remaining Jedi forces found their opening and escaped. Of Sasha Vendark, no confirmed record remained, only fragments of sensor data, unanswered questions, and the quiet understanding that her story had not yet reached its end. The battle above Rannon had torn the blockade apart, turning disciplined formations into scattered, burning wrecks. In the confusion, a small line of Jedi transport ships slipped forward on minimal power, their hulls darkened and sensors dampened. At the front of the formation flew Jedi Knight Tia Luminara alongside Captain Jenkins, both acutely aware that survival depended on remaining unnoticed.
Hold this vector,
Jenkins murmured, eyes locked on the tactical display.
If they re-establish scanning nets, we won't get a second chance.
From her seat, Master Luminara closed her eyes and reached outward through the Force, extending her awareness into the chaos beyond the viewport. She searched for a familiar presence amid the wreckage and distant explosions. Something, anything, that might still answer back. For a brief moment she felt only turbulence, echoes of fear and sacrifice rippling through space.
She's out there,
Luminara said quietly, more conviction than certainty in her voice.
I just can't see where.
Master,
Jenkins replied, lowering his voice.
their patrols are already shifting. We linger, we're done.
The seconds stretched painfully. Luminara hesitated, torn between duty and instinct, before finally drawing her focus back to the ship. With a subtle nod, she gave the order to proceed. The transports adjusted course, engines flaring just enough to break free of the collapsing battlefield. As hyperspace enveloped them, Rannon faded into a distant memory of fire and loss. Their destination lay ahead, Kashyyyk, and the conference that awaited them there, carrying implications far beyond this single battle. Behind them, unanswered questions remained, and among them the fate of Jedi Knight Sasha Vendark, left suspended in uncertainty as the war pressed relentlessly onward.